This is Amy of AJC Magic TV. We're here on opening day for Kennywood Park. There, and today is 412 day here in the Pittsburgh area since it's 412. So 412 day, we're at Kennywood opening day. Not so warm spring day though. Welcome in, Curtis family. This is called the Arrow 360. And yes, I am gimbalist. That's why it is saying gimbalist, because I did kind of a last minute decision coming up and I didn't have any of my stuff. Plus, I want to ask about equipment. Go get Doug. Yeah, I probably should. Hello, Penguins Master. My first ride of the day was the racer, Penguins Master. Welcome in, Doug. Kind of a chilly day. Yes, happy 412 day. Welcome in, Kay Wilby. I'm sorry that it's shaky and whatever, but I thank you for watching. No, go ahead, because it's a live stream. That's our Kittyland area. They don't really want you filming in Kittyland, so I will respect that. They did a lot of work around here the last 2 years. Plus, Kennywood just got sold to a new company, the Hershan Company. So I'm not sure when they'll actually take over. This is their food plaza area. The Golden Nugget has their famous Kennywood dip cones. And the Pizza Warehouse, they have pizza, wings, and I think French fries and maybe chicken fingers in there. We're just gonna slowly walk around. I will be asking for permission. I know I wrote to them last year and didn't really get it, but I did see other YouTubers here with various photography equipment and live streaming. So that'll be something I'm going to work on asking them, because it doesn't say anywhere in the rules that you can't bring it in, but I want to ask permission. Yes, this is opening day. Unfortunately for them, I mean, they have a nice sized crowd here, but it's very cold. If it would have been sunnier, it would have been busier. But there's the famous dip cone right there. It's dipped in chocolate. And then you can get nuts. You can get it plain or with sprinkles or both. They kind of repainted a lot of areas. They took out the Thomas licensing area, but they made it into an area called the Kennywood Junction. Pretty much the same rides, but with an overview of like a do-over of the rides, but with Kennywood names. And then they redid the train to bring it kind of back to where it was years ago, and took out the Thomas stuff. The auto racer ride, that actually was made here in Beaver, Pennsylvania by a company. I don't even think that company's in business anymore, but it's like one of a kind ride that's probably no longer anywhere else in the world but the auto race ride. And this summer they'll have the acrobats here, and then later on they'll have a jet ski water show. They put in a giant pool in that area, and then they do different stunts on the jet skis, or those types where the person stands in sort of a half-a like jet ski type of thing, we'll see that later on this summer. And we'll also see the acrobat show, because I'll probably have videos and shorts and stuff. But then this is one of their food stands here. One side is the cold side with the ice cream and Dole Whips. And then this side has hot dogs and hot sausage sandwiches. And then this is like their game midway, where all the games and stuff are. But here's the food stand, the pagoda area, that they call this side the fire breathing area, because it's the hot side. And then this is the Old Thomas area, but now it's called Kennywood Junction, and they pretty much re-overlaid all the rides and took out all the Thomas licensing with that. Actually, no, Kate, we actually got a weird snowstorm, like real quick on, I think Tuesday or Wednesday morning. I think it was Tuesday morning. We got like a small, quick snow squall. I was outside with the dog in the back, and when I brought him back in to go out to my car, all of a sudden snow was coming down like crazy. But that's the Kennywood Junction area. They have the train. This is the game midway. But no, we've had rain, snow, sun, but I didn't see any snow this morning. Yeah, you should, Monorail Molly. Especially if they get their steel curtain coaster done. Right now, there's structural damage, and I guess, they have the company that made the coaster. They're working on it now. I'm not sure when it's going to get open, but it's really nice. Yeah, Idlewild nice. Nice family park, especially if your kids are younger.
Hello.
And we'll be going to Idlewild later on this summer. I'm guessing most of the people here today are season pass holders, because that's why I came up also, because I'm season pass holders. But they do, if you ever think about coming to Kennywood for a day, go on their website. You can get tickets a lot cheaper than walking up to the gate and purchasing them. So check that out. There goes the Thunderbolt roller coaster. This is the Potato Patch. It's a pretty popular fresh cut fries. It's pretty popular, pretty well known in the amusement industry in this area and various others. But the Potato Patch, you can get cheese fries, gravy fries, plain fries, and then they have various seasonings. This is the Thunderbolt roller coaster. Kennywood has 3 wooden coasters. The Thunderbolt, the Racer, and Jackrabbit. Then they have 3 steel coasters. That one is Phantom's Revenge. Originally, it was called the Steel Phantom, and then they had to redesign it because it was pretty rough. So they call it Phantom's Revenge now. But there it goes up the top of the hill there. Yeah, Palmer would love it here. Chris, Palmer, and Dottie, they would love coming here. They have a nice kiddie land and some other family rides. There goes the Steel Phantom. Plus then you can go to the amusement park out by Doug's, called Idlewild Park. And that has a wave pool and lazy river and a water park area for kids. There's the turtle ride. We'll walk over there. And it's kind of like one of like maybe 5 in the world that's left of the tumblebug type rides. And they have a turtle show on it. And it's called the Turtle. Hello, Tiki Man fan. Tim, thank you for joining. They have various refreshment stands. They have the potato patch fries. There's corn dogs, hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, funnel cakes, cotton candy. There's a candy store that sells fudge and all kinds of different types of candy. There's also a cafeteria restaurant that you can get some dinners. Chicken fingers is a popular thing. And then they also have a restaurant that does milkshakes and stuff. But here's the turtle ride. I'll just walk over here so you can see it. I know I've had other videos of the turtle ride, but there it is there. Hello, Bloom and Cheesa Richard. Thank you for joining. But yeah, there's the turtle. Yeah, it's like one of maybe 5 in the world that are left of that type of ride. Yes. Yes, Richard, it is. Yes, it is. I know. There are a lot of like amusement park enthusiasts or coaster enthusiasts that are excited that it got bought by that particular company, the Hershan company that runs all the part owners of Dollywood and Silver Dollar City. Here is the Noah's Ark. That's a dark ride you walk through. Fun house type of thing. It's probably the only one left in the world. The Noah's Ark. Sorry, I'll unplug you. That way it won't be as bad. But it's a walk through dark ride. The Noah's Ark. And you walk through the whale's mouth, up through the cave onto the ark. I have a couple videos of that also. They had different inceptions over the years. When I was a kid, it was always the whale's mouth. Then they changed it to like a mine theme. And then they brought back the whale walking through the whale's mouth. And it's also a one of these historical attractions there, national historic type of attraction. And then they have here. This is one of the ice cream stands. Millie's Ice Cream is a Pittsburgh-based company, So they have their homemade ice cream here at this particular stand in the park. But they are based throughout Pittsburgh, and then they have their home base in Homestead, PA. But there goes the coaster. We'll walk over to the Lost Kennywood area. Yeah, I was disappointed that Geauga Lake got destroyed or taken out by the Cedar Fair Company. I miss Geauga Lake. I never got to go to Euclid Park, but I hear different people talk about that and read about it with different amusement park history. I do thank everyone for joining. I'm Amy of AJC Magic TV. This is Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's actually in the suburb of West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, which is probably about 10, 12 miles up the road from downtown Pittsburgh area. This Lost Kennywood is based on a couple of amusement parks that were in and around the Pittsburgh area. Now I can't, they used to have a Luna Park, but that was back in the early 1900s. That was in the Oakland area of Pittsburgh. So they kind of based this little archway here by that. But this is the sign for Lost Kennywood. But back this way they have the Exterminator indoor coaster. That was kind of like that primeval world that they used to have in Animal Kingdom at the Dinosaur Land. They have the Whip back here, the Black Widow, the swings. Then they have the Pittsburgh Plunge. Yeah, they're not ready for the water stuff yet. But the Pittsburgh Plunge, probably come Memorial Day weekend, they'll have that all filled and everything. When they opened this area up, they used to have a water fountain show there in that fountain with lights and stuff. But they'll have all that up. They have two water rides, the Raging Rapids and the Pittsburgh Plunge. And then this is one of their gift shops. We'll take a look in there. You can get t-shirts, hats, just all different type of stuff, mugs and everything. So we'll take a walk in there. They're featuring their jackets and everything. Yeah, I think they do have magnets. Yeah, right there. Okay, we'll be on that rack. We'll take a look at it. Keychains, stuffed animals. This looks like a hat and t-shirt special that they have. Get the hat and t-shirt for $30, it looks like. Or $19.99, or if you buy 2 sets, it's $30. That's a good thing. Then they do feature some t-shirts with their coasters. I actually like the last year's Phantom Revenge shirt, which I have. It actually featured the Phantom on there. But throughout the year, they'll have different things. That's the Thunderbolt there, regular Kennywood shirt. Silly hats. There's Kenny Kangaroo. He's the mascot of Kennywood, Kenny Kangaroo. Yeah, hopefully that'll be open this summer. At some point, they're still working on the steel curtain. I've ridden in it already a bunch of times before it shut down last year. There are some mugs. Toothpick holders, as they call them. Then they sell plush. So if if your kid's upset that they didn't win a prize, you can always just come here and buy a prize.
What's this?
Here's the shirt from last year of the Phantom's Revenge.
$600.
There's some hats. Hello, Movie Mania Nick. I went to the wrong rack. I was going to show the magnets. And various toys, plushies. They have the hoodies all featured. And there's a couple, there's a few different gift shops throughout the park. They have one by the alien area, one by the jackrabbits, and then this one. These are some of the magnets that they have. These are stickers that they're selling. Oh, you're welcome, Kay. And there's the Kennywood arrow signs. I have one of the small ones. And then these are those Giga things where you make the coaster cars, the wooden coaster. Yeah, I'm sure that when I was a kid, though, they had the Little Dipper coaster here, which was a miniature size coasters for families and kids. Well, kids and families. It's a shame that they ended up taking it down for the Raging Rapids and weren't able to move it over or anything to another part of the park, because it was a nice coaster. This is a Small Fries potato patch. I believe they do gluten-free food right here. Gluten-free chicken fingers, and keep everything gluten-free there. And there is a lot of history here at Kennywood. It's over 100 years old. I think this is like it was 125 years a couple summers ago. And if you ever want to see some of the history, look up Kennywood Memories by a local gentleman called Rick Seaback. And there was a couple other people who have done various books on Kennywood and the history of Kennywood. And there's some coaster enthusiasts that do history stuff on various amusement parks and Kennywood history. And like I said, I do apologize for the shakiness. This was just kind of a last minute decision. I was debating on the weather. I was going to meet a couple people, but they were here a little earlier, but it got kind of cold for them. We'll wait for the coaster to come down around the bend.
Back-to-back rip.
Yeah, I think they only have the one car running today for here. But that was the Phantom's Revenge. Hey. There's Music Express. Yeah, that's true, Kay. A lot of times it is fun, but yeah, you do get a few of those other people that get on there and they're scared to death. But here's the Music Express ride. You get in the cars and then it kind of just spins around like crazy. There's the pirate ship ride. There's a basketball game. Yeah, you're not allowed to film on the rides here. So if you're wondering why I'm not going on rides, you're not allowed to film. And they have that specifically on their rules there. There's only a couple kids on here, a couple people. This one, it's hard for me to hang on here because it really spins and it's like hard to really hang on. So I usually sit on the end where everybody kind of squishes into you. Yeah, that's true, Movie Maniac. But that's what the Music Express does there. Sometimes you see these at other places where they go backwards also.
She's not tall enough. Is she tall enough?
But that's the Music Express. And then the pirate ship's getting ready to go. But check out a lot of my shorts and stuff. I'll be dropping some out today of various rides. This area used to be originally an arcade. Then they made it a 3D movie theater. But then they since have not run it as the 3D movie theater. I don't know if they'll ever get it back to that or they'll end up just doing something else with it. But they, when it originally first opened, they had an Ice Age movie that was 3D. And then at Christmas time, they did the Polar Express and a Rudolph movie. And then at Halloween, they actually did a Friday the 13th type of 3D movie featuring for their Fright Nights. And then they had a movie that The Rock was in where he was part of an earthquake or something. And they did that also. I can't remember the name of the movie though. The Rock was in it. San Andreas. The San Andreas Fault movie. Hello, Art Maker Forever. Thank you for joining. We'll walk down to the bumper cars here in a moment. But this is their alien area. And that's our Spinvasion ride. I think this is like the third season for the Spinvasion ride. Yeah, if you love spinning and being tossed, that's a great ride. If you're motion sickness, it's not great. No. And then they have the Cosmic Chaos over here. Now, I'm pretty much one and done with the Spinvasion ride because one, the seats sit up higher even though when it stopped to get in and out of the seats. So yeah, it's hard to climb up in there if you're short. And two, it just spins pretty fast. And you pretty much have to focus on a spot or you're going to get sick. So it's pretty much a one and done for me. Then there's the Cosmic Chaos. Yeah. That's like the Black Widow. I came one morning. That was the first ride I rode because I thought, well, if I get sick on it, I'm going to go home. And that was pretty much a one and done too, was the Black Widow. I just wanted to try it out and say that I did it. But that also gets pretty crazy and stuff. But here's one of their other gift shops. And there's a press penny machine. And then in this gift shop, they have, like I said, they're featuring a lot of sweatshirts because it's cold. And then they have different t-shirts. This is all the rides that came in the 1990s at Kennywood. And then they have one that was featuring the 2000s. That's all the rides that came during the early 2000s. And there was one for the 70s and 80s, but that's probably sold out. And then there's shirts for the alien ride. There's a good glass in the area 412. Here's some of that, the freeze-dried candies. Over here is the bumper cars. It used to be called the Grand Prix, but now they're like French fry cars. They call it the Potato Smash. Now, I haven't ridden the train yet. That's going to be something that I'm going to do after I'm done showing around the park. So I'll walk over to the train. And up front here, this is the bumper cars called the Potato Smash. And then they have the Skyrocket Coaster up front here also. But they made the cars look like French fry baskets. And it's named after the like potato patch fries. So they put French fries in the front of the car, and you're the fry basket. And then they put like different signs up along for decoration and stuff. Yep, one kid jumped out of the car. I don't know if they got scared or what, they couldn't find the car. Yeah, it is kind of cute. That's the only thing, like, you know, there are some people upset that, oh, why'd you do it that way? But they're just going with the theming of their park and everything. The employees are still walking around, checking everyone. They also have the old mill ride, which is an indoor boat ride. You start outside and you go through the old mill. That's been under various different names. Once the ride ends remaining, here we go. But there's the bumper cars. And now they have the French fries in the front. Hello, Mike Beachman. Thank you for joining. But that's the Potato Smash bumper cars. We'll walk up towards the train in the front of the park, or the middle of the park where the lake is. Now, like I said, I do apologize. I don't have the gimbal. I'm not sure if you're able to do the gimbal, so I'm going to be writing to Kennywood. I just kind of lost track of time and haven't had a chance to write and ask them. Right here, that used to be a Johnny Rockets, but now they changed it to just a Carousel Burger and Shake restaurant. But originally, it was a regular refreshment stand with burgers and desserts and stuff. And then they put Johnny Rockets in there for a while. And last summer, they changed it to just back to Kennywood running it and calling it the Carousel Burger and shake restaurant.
Right, and he says, right, when you turn 20, you're now to start.
No, I did not see Tuff the bunny, the Easter bunny. I didn't go in. I think he's inside the cafeteria, but I didn't go there. But we'll be walking by there, so I'll see if he's in there. He or she. And if you're wondering why there's that soldier there, this is like grounds where George Washington and various other famous stuff for the French and Indian War. So that's why that's there. Because like General Braddock, General Washington, they all came through this area during the French and Indian War and stuff. There's the kangaroo ride and the jackrabbit going in the background. But here is the Carousel Burger Company. And there is the steel curtain. They're still working on that particular coaster. Hopefully it does get done sometime this summer, because that's a big bonus there. And there's the carousel, or merry-go-round they call it here. They call it the merry-go-round. But here's the Parkside Cafe. And I know they had like a brunch or something here earlier this morning that you could have with the Easter Bunny. So that Easter Bunny, Tuff the Bunny, will be here up until next weekend.
I don't know what happened, but I just don't care anymore.
I'm thinking he's in here, because they had carrot signs. Either that or he's down in that building there by the train. But we'll take a look in here real quick. But this is the Parkside Cafe. Yeah, he might be down by the train in the building where they had the Thomas toys and stuff. But this is the cafe. Oops, sorry. But we'll walk over to that area, because I don't see anything set up here for it. And this is the other side of the pagoda, where the ice cream and Dole Whip, and they sell ices here. And come like the end of May through June on the weekends, you'll see like these booths here. They'll have a food festival going on during the end of May. Throughout June on the weekends, there'll be a food festival, just like they had, like they have at other places. You can buy like a card and get your stamps and stuff.
That's why it ran in the play.
Yeah, he's in here inside the toy gift shop. I'll just walk over. Yeah. But there he is right there. I don't want to show that because there's a lot of kids. But that's where he is. Right in there. But here is the times to meet Tough the Easter Bunny. Hello, friendly gamer. And we'll go over here and wait for the train. Oh, you're welcome. And I think they have an egg scavenger hunt. I saw a couple kids walking around with maps with stickers. And actually, the thing, last summer, Kennywood did a few things where they had various kangaroo statues, and they had some really nice prizes that the families could win or kids could win. And actually for Kennywood, this will be their longest season that they've ever had. From today, opening day, till January 1st, they'll be open. But this is called the Kennywood Junction, Kennywood, the old Kennywood Railroad. But there's the auto ride, so you can see the autos. But that's what the auto ride, it used to go a lot faster, but they slowed it down. Yeah, if they don't have both trains running, it takes a little while for the train to get back to the station. So we'll just stand over here till we see the train coming. Yeah, I actually got to ride the original Steel Phantom. I had worked there. I actually worked here whenever they were getting ready. They had built it and did a contest for naming rights. I actually had two names that were up for the top three. And actually, I think the funny thing is I actually did put in a submission of the Steel Phantom name, and I think somebody from one of the offices that my family member turned into probably put their name on it or something. They have like a train schedule over there. Oh, here comes the train. And this is actually the old Gimbal's Flyer train. The engine, the Gimbal's Flyer engine. And they repainted it and everything. They actually have another train. We'll probably see it on the way out to the new area. There's the Gimbal Flyers train.
Welcome back, riders. Please stay seated and see here all aboard in the train until we stop. Again, welcome back, riders. Please stay seated and see here all clear and smooth stop. Thank you.
Well, we'll be going by the steel curtain. It pretty much takes up the skyline around the park, the steel curtain. But we'll actually be riding by it on the train.
All clear.
That's the one thing I gotta do before I leave is pick up my souvenir cup. You get that with your season pass.
Yeah, I guess after this we can She's pretty nice.
But I do thank everyone for joining me. I'm Amy of AJC Magic TV. We're at Kennywood Park. I know you could be watching others and doing other things, so I do appreciate it. If you're watching the replay, make sure you leave a comment or a message down below that you watched the replay. And if you like amusement parks and what type of rides are your favorite rides. And hit that thumbs up button. It does help out our channel, lets YouTube know, hey, you like our content. And consider subscribing. Check out all our videos, shorts. We do a lot around Pennsylvania when we get down to Orlando, Florida. We do a lot of the attractions there, Disney World. We do trivia, but since it's becoming spring and summer, we'll be getting out more and showing you around Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, New York, West Virginia, and hopefully down in Orlando. I'm hoping we get on the train this time around. They're just letting some of the they have a lot of people that have like the version of the DOS pass, so they're loading them up first.
She wants some chicken nuggets, extra fries.
So I do apologize. It's just taking a little while to load up.
Like afterwards, like, oh my God, you like
I know, you should have heard him talking when we were around. I was listening, man. That girl.
No, it's okay. It's just that. Yeah. Get on there, don't worry.
Yes, back. I just figure I move over here. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All aboard. We'll keep the camera posted this way first. So you'll see the river and steel mill down over the hillside. And then when we get to the circle area, I'll make sure I turn the camera that way. Yeah, Kenny Kangaroo over there. Oops. You can see. I think what they ended up doing was like the history of Kennywood and put out like old brides vehicles in the one area. I think that's what they ended up doing.
Welcome to the old Kennywood Railroad. You'll be departing the station soon. Please secure all loose articles, ensure small children are sitting towards the center of the seat, and that all arms, hands, and legs are always kept inside the car. All aboard?
There's Kenny Kangaroo and Jeeters. They'll be up there. Right there's Jeeters and Kenny Kangaroo. That's where the Raging Rapids is, behind those bushes and hillside there. The empty Raging Rapids.
Hi, I'm Jillian, Kennywood's operations manager.
This is the voice of Kennywood.
I'm Joel, and besides being the voice of Kennywood, I've been one of the park's electricians for about 3 decades. And now, let's talk a little bit about the history of Kennywood Park.
Okay.
You were riding on a piece of history. The engine pulled in this train was first used in 1939 at the New York World's Fair. It was sponsored by the Gimbal department store, and that's why this train has become known as the Gimbal's Flyer. The coaches and theme of the ride have changed over the years. It took its first ride here at Kennywood in 1945.
We should start at the beginning. Our story begins way back in 1818 when Charles Kenny purchased the land that would one day become Kennywood. The land became a popular picnic spot known as Kenny's Grove around the time of the Civil War. And on December 18, 1898, the Kenny family leased the land to the Monongahela Street Railway Company, officially creating our small trolley park.
You know, it was Pittsburgh businessman Andrew Mellon who picked the name Kennywood.
I did know that, and the Parkside Cafe and the Carousel Burger Company are the only 2 remaining structures from that period.
In 1906, the park was sold to 2 families.
No, it's still there. They're not open yet till May.
And you can still find
Till
the names
like
here at
Memorial Day
Kennywood
weekend.
Junction if you know where to look.
In those early years, visitors enjoyed picnicking under the many trees, taking a leisurely rowboat ride on the lagoon, and watching shows at the bandstand. The favorite attractions in those days were the dance hall and the Speed O-Plane roller coaster, along with our oldest operating ride, the Old Mill, which was built in 1902.
During the Roaring 20s, Kennywood added some popular rides that you can still take a ride on today. Our current whip ride opened in 1926, followed by the merry-go-round and the turtle in 1927. We also went a little coaster crazy and added 3 coasters designed by John Miller. The Jackrabbit, Racer, and Pippin all use the natural topography of our land, and each has its own uniqueness.
This is also the decade that the famous Kennywood arrows were first seen to help travelers find the park. In 1930, Harry Traver designed two new rides for the park, the Auto Race and the Laugh in the Dark. These would be the last new attractions for many years because of the Great Depression.
Many parks had to close. Kennywood survived due to the dedication of its guests and employees.
You worked here back then, didn't you?
I'm not that old.
Admission was free in those days, and many people spent their days playing skee-ball in the Penny Arcade, dancing in the dance hall, or enjoying zoo-related attractions like the Monkey House. There were also many appearances by popular band orchestras and other local personalities.
Eventually, the Depression subsided, and in 1936, Kennywood built a new walk-through dark ride, Noah's Ark. Ironically, this was also the year of Pittsburgh's great St. Patrick's Day flood.
Out of the Depression and into the war era, World War II was a driving force in the 1940s. Kennywood's own radio station, the Voice of Kennywood.
I recognize that name.
I'm sure you do. But this Voice of Kennywood would broadcast news from the front lines of the war from the middle of the park.
1941 provided some much-needed laughter with the debut of Laughing South. And the post-war baby boom saw the addition of the Little Dipper roller coaster and an expansion of Kittyland, which is one of the largest in America. And as the nation entered into the television age, so did Kennywood. Our band shell became host to many celebrities. Lone Ranger, Clarabelle the Clown from the Howdy Doody Show, and my favorite, the Three Stooges, just to name a few. That decade also saw
There's
the
a
addition of our
steel
fall
curtain.
fantasy parades and the
Or
fun
whoever.
handicap events.
The 1960s and 70s were challenging times for Kennywood. With the emergence of theme parks, Kennywood had to make big changes to compete. We saw the addition of the popular gas-powered turnpike ride in 1966. Then in 1968, with the demand for a new roller coaster and no room to build one, Andy Vettel redesigned the pivot, creating a more thrilling wooden roller coaster called the
Thunderbolts. It was ranked as the nation's best in the New York Times in 1974. In 1975, Kennywood made the decision to build its first $1 million ride, the Log Jam. It was helped launch us into a new era. We also decided to retire the popular characters of Henry and Howdy Doody and create our own mascots, including Kenny Kangaroo and Jeeters. But do you know the most important addition to the park in this era?
Of course, it was the potato patch with its world-class french fries.
We opened in the 80s with our first steel coaster, the Laser Loop. We added many other rides to our lineup, including Gold Rusher, Pirate, and the Wave Swing.
In 1985, we replaced
This is the second
concept
train.
of Little Dipper with the Raging Rapids, and in 1988, the park was immortalized by Rick Seaback's WQED documentary, Kennywood Memories. We also added to our family in the 80s by getting two sister parks, Idlewild and Sandcastle.
The 1990s roared to life with the addition of the world's fastest roller coaster, the Steel Phantom. We also added our biggest expansion to date, Lost Kennywood. We had lots of people notice that Pittsburgh is spelled without an H on the entrance building, but that's not a mistake.
Nope, this was themed after Oakland's Luna Park from the turn of the century, and that's how Pittsburgh spelled its name at the time.
Plus, Kennywood brought the addition of the indoor spinning coaster called the Exterminator and the 251-foot-tall Pitfall Drop Tower.
This is also when we were first recognized as the National Historic Landmark, and we celebrated our 100th anniversary.
It was time for the turn of another century. And using techniques we learned on Thunderbolt, we adapted the Steel Phantom into the Phantom's Revenge in
The old
2001.
picnic groups.
We
They
also
still
had
use
other
them.
new thrilling attractions like Air 360, Skyrocket, and Black Widow.
The year 2002 saw the end to our old tradition of closing on Labor Day. During Phantom Fall Fest, our family-friendly park transforms into a haunting thrill experience after dark. Starting in 2011, guests could enjoy millions of lights and even some of their favorite rides in the winter at our Holiday Lights Christmas-time celebration. In 2019, Kennywood again became home to the state's tallest and fastest coaster with the debut of the Steel Curtain.
In 2022 and 2023, we celebrated our 125th birthday with park-wide enhancements that celebrated our past and looked to the future. While a lot has changed over the years, one thing never will. Kennywood is a place to escape with the hustle and bustle of everyday life and create new memories together.
We hope you enjoyed your ride on the old Kennywood Railroad. We look forward to entertaining you and your family for generations to come.
There's the old train sign. That's always been there since I was a kid. That train there. And
We're
there's
almost
that
back at the station.
steel
Please make sure
curtain.
that you gather all your loose articles and remain seated until the station attendant gives you the all clear. Thanks for riding the old Kennywood Railroad. We'll see you on your next adventure soon.
You used to enter over here originally with the train station. Then they reverse it and put this little area in. But there you go. That was the Kennywood Railroad. Yep. We'll go see the mascot Kenny Kangaroo and Jeter. He's in like his Easter outfit. But that's Jeter and Kenny Kangaroo. Jeter is the red character and Kenny Kangaroo is the kangaroo mascot. But that's going to be pretty much it about the live stream here. I do thank everyone for joining. I'll go over by these Easter eggs. But now here's the Raging Rapids and their floats. That'll be up and running sometime around Memorial Day. That's Kenneth Ghostwood Estates. Kind of a mixture of like a ghost hunting game like Buzz Lightyear where you have the targets to shoot in the Haunted Mansion type of thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I do thank you all for joining me today. I know it might be a little shaky and rough, but I do thank you all for joining. And look for various videos and different shorts throughout the summer. So thank you all for joining. I'm Amy of AJC Magic TV. Have a great day and let the adventures begin. Bye everyone, and thank you all for joining. Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for joining. I'll show you the haunted house there and the games. And that coaster there is the Thunderbolt. So thank you all for joining. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your weekend. And let the adventures begin. Bye everyone.